Thanks for joining us tonight for the 10 o'clock news here on Q2. I'm Zoe Zandora. We start tonight in national news. We're learning more about the airline ground worker who stole a passenger jet and crashed to his death Friday night near Seattle. A county sheriff described Richard Russell as suicidal. His family says he was a faithful husband, a loving brother, and a good friend. Here's Jamie Yukas.
At the controls of this roughly 75-minute-long unauthorized flight on a commercial airliner, 29-year-old Richard Bebo Russell, a Horizon Air ground crew member who stole the empty plane Friday.
Just a broken guy, got a few screws loose, I guess. Never really knew it until now.
On behalf of the family, we are stunned and heartbroken. Bebo was a warm, compassionate man.
As he crisscrossed the Seattle area, controllers urged Russell to pay attention to his direction, fuel, and speed.
Man, have you been to the Olympics? These guys are gorgeous. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I have been out there. It's always a nice drive.
Eyewitnesses saw the plane flying erratically and uncharacteristically low. Two F-15 military fighter jets scrambled to intercept it. Russell was killed when the plane crashed onto a remote island in the Puget Sound. We came out by boat to see for ourselves what the crash site looks like on Ketron Island, but it is so thick with forest, you can't see from the water that a plane even went down here.
The doors to the airplanes are not keyed like a car.
Executives from Alaska Airlines and Horizon Air struggled to explain Saturday how the flight even got off the ground.
We don't know how he was able to do that. We don't know how he learned to do that.
Jamie Yukas, CBS News, near Ketron Island, Washington.
Thank you, Jamie. In Firewatch news, at approximately 10:30 p.m. Saturday night, Billings 911 Emergency Center started receiving calls related to power outages, grass fires, explosions, sparks, and fire shooting into the sky. These reports pertained to multiple locations and is still under investigation. According to officials, the preliminary suspected cause is a microburst that knocked over a large transformer, and a train coming along at the same time ran over one of the power lines, causing a domino effect, taking down a total of 17 power lines. The 35-acre blaze was contained fairly quickly with mop-up and scene safety, lasting through most of the night. And no permanent structures were lost or damaged. The owner is out of town, so at this time there's no estimation of how much the damage was and how much it cost. Another lightning storm that sparked several small wildfires in Glacier National Park. Park spokeswoman Lauren Alley says the park and interagency firefighters are responding to at least 3 fires, which sparked to life on Saturday. The Heaven's Sake fire, which is burning below Heaven's Peak, is visible from the Going to the Sun road. Smoke jumpers have been ordered for a fire near Numa Ridge because there is a suitable location for the jumpers to respond, according to the alley. A fire on Howe Ridge burned actively throughout the night, and Canadian super scoopers, which have been based in Kalispell, are scooping water out of Lake McDonald to fight that fire, and ground resources are also hiking in. No evacuation orders have been issued for residents that live in the park. And now joined here with meteorologist Connor Pregitzer. There's just been a lot of fire talk in the news lately, and it's hot outside.
Yeah, absolutely. The conditions we've been seeing over the last few days especially, but really over the last month or so, are really conducive to that fire danger ticking upwards. Likely we're going to get a little shift here coming up, so we look forward to that. But for the moment, we are dealing with a number of fire situations as well as not particularly great air quality across much of the state here. If you do have respiratory issues, it's probably a pretty good time to consider not exerting yourself and spending as limited time outside if you can. But again, we mentioned some changing conditions that are hopefully going to put us at less fire risk. I'll break that down coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Connor. MSU Billings started a new nursing degree program last fall, and this weekend celebrated its first graduating class. A pinning ceremony on Saturday honored 14 women who finished the registered nurse to Bachelor of Science in Nursing program. Students in the program have already earned associate's degrees and have worked as registered nurses. They worked as RNs and went to school full-time, taking online courses.
It's very important and special for us to honor these nurses. They've worked very hard this year. Billings is definitely the hub of healthcare for Montana. So to be here right in Billings and also have this opportunity is wonderful. As a nurse myself, going through it was definitely an honor when I got my pin. So it's a very special day for me to see these guys graduate and get their nursing pin and move on with their bachelor's degree.
It's the third day of the Montana Fair, and it's falling less than short of good acts, including some of the smaller shows. Mango and Dango, a duo performance near the 4th Avenue stage. The pair from San Diego bring athleticism and comedy to the fair.
Keep them coming, people!
Our act is actually an incredibly physical act. As you can see, we're drenched in sweat right now, but luckily the audience is the one who gives us the energy to keep us going. How do you feel, Mango? Do you feel tired during the show, or?
I definitely feel tired during the show. It's difficult. Yes, it's physically challenging. We keep in shape and training all year so that we can keep doing what we do. The most fun thing is just to pay attention to the audience and the moment and not hesitate when one of those moments presents themselves and play with that moment.
But it depends on the audience. Like the guys wearing the NRA hat. I'm like, oh, what's over the NRA hat? You know? What's up, Uncle? How you been? Nice. Glad you still support the NRA. Me too. Still got that bullet wound? Good job. You want to play with, you want to be in the moment, right? Improvisation. Play with people. And I also want to test myself, you know? Sometimes I get my foot in my mouth and I'm like, oh, geez, I just shouldn't have said that. The biggest thing we want people to remember is that kindness is contagious, and don't take yourself too seriously.
Have fun. Play, enjoy life.
It's our end shot, back to back. We want this.
Those two are quite the dynamic duo, and you can see Mango and Dango at 5:45 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. during the Montana Fair. Noxious weeds are devastating to a healthy landscape. That's why a ranch in south central Montana is using both art and sheep to promote good land stewardship. Russell Nimitz shares more in our Montana Ag Network report.
Primarily, we're here to kind of help control this leafy spurge population, this noxious weed that's around quite a bit of the state of Montana.
Noxious weeds are a real threat to Montana's landscape, including native rangeland like that found on the Tippet Rise Ranch near Fishtail, Montana. That's why each year, Ben LaFelton family from Lavina, Montana, bring their sheep to aid in the control of noxious weeds like leafy spurge.
In some of these areas where it's really dense, we really need to attack it from several different angles. So sheep and biological control is one of those major angles that we focus on. So we use our Peruvian H2A sheep herders to really guide our sheep bands this time of year into these yellow patches, take the flowers off to limit the seed production, the rhizomes, and really give the chance for the grass to not be completely outcompeted in these areas.
He says, unlike cattle, the sheep will eat leafy spurge.
It's important to have some type of plan and being proactive like this Tippet Rise Ranch in using biological sheep control as well as some bugs that can help with leafy spurge.
Herbicides can also be used for control, but using biological methods like sheep really work well for the Tippet Rise Ranch.
Herbicides are an option and can be used, especially when you have a starting leafy spurge population or you notice it in your backyard. You can eliminate a patch because it hasn't gotten those tremendous amount of tap roots and rhizomes. When you come to a spot like this that is somewhat out of control with leafy spurge, you're into a more of a control environment. And in our case, we're using this leafy spurge as a food source to produce food and fiber.
Herbicides can also be used for control, but using biological methods like sheep really work well for the Tippet Rise Ranch.
So it's great to have these people that aren't necessarily native Montanans, but have come in with an idea they want to continue the native grazing add their special touches with sculptures and symphonies and different tourist ideas, but keep kind of the Montana way of life and the grazing of the sheep and the cattle, which add a lot of value to their property in our eyes, and I think in their eyes too.
Each year, noxious weeds impact millions and millions of acres of land, not just here in Montana, but across the West. But here at the Tippett Rise Ranch, with the help of the Lefelt family and their sheep, they're doing their part to stop the spread of noxious weeds. Near Fishtail, Montana, Russell Nemitz, MTN News.
Thank you, Russell. And if you would like to learn more about the Tippett Rise Ranch and its Art Center, visit tippetrise.org.